Hello, this is my week 3 decluttering progress video. I created this channel nearly a month ago now and I started publishing 3 weeks ago on my birthday. I decided that after decades of clutter and of being overwhelmed with clutter, I decided that I finally was going to allow myself to have a tidy and decluttered home. The problem with my home is not that it's dirty, but it's just cluttered. There's too many things and I find it so hard to keep up with tidying up. And it just overwhelms me mentally. It drives me insane. So I started on the 24th of September. It was my birthday. And I've decluttered something almost every single day since. And I've promised that I would record my progress and check in once a week. Apologies, I didn't do that last week, but generally I'm really going to try and check in once a week and let you know how I'm doing so that hopefully it helps you on your decluttering journey too. So first I'm going to show you a bit of what it looks like. Now, I haven't really worked on the upper floor on the house in so far as decluttering is concerned. I focused on this bit, the ground floor of our home, because this is basically where I spend most of my time. I spend a lot of time over there in the kitchen. I spend a lot of time here as well at my desk because I work from home. And obviously we spend time as a family here in the living room. And we only go upstairs to sleep really or to work in the office. So my priority really has been, so to be honest, don't really have a system here. But my priority has been to relieve the stress by getting rid of visual clutter. So I've tried to sort of organize. So my entrance hall has really stayed really tidy over the last 3 weeks. I'm really pleased with that. And there's my little dog. Last week I worked on this, my work area, and I've done a really good job there. My drawers in there are decluttered. This little cabinet is decluttered. And the rest of this corner is pretty peaceful anyway, but because the drawers are decluttered, I'm now able to put the things I had on the desk, I'm able to put them inside the drawer in the evening and not accumulate too much stuff here, which really helps me stay organized. It's funny the way it works, but it really does. I've made a good start on these drawers here, and I really have to work on this, but there's a lot of sentimental stuff here on the top of the shelf, so I'm trying to do all the things that are easy first, so I get into this habit of decluttering. I exercise my decluttering muscle and then I will go on to more emotional stuff. I've done a really good job, I feel, here. Got rid of stuff, tidied up. There's some music things here that I've still got to work on. The problem is it all belongs to my eldest daughter. She's not in the country. So I'll have to do this with her. But I already feel that this shelf generally visually is a lot less stressful than it used to be. So quick reminder, this is what it used to look like, right? That was not very nice. There you go. We have Nellie who jumped on the shelf and is saying hello. Hello, Nellie. You're decluttering with me, hey? Anyway, I mean, don't get me wrong, there's still loads of work to do. All this has to be decluttered. My homeschooling shelves absolutely have to be decluttered. I know it doesn't look terribly bad, but I know it's full of papers, of books that I need to either throw away, file away, or give away. And it stresses me out every time I look at this. There's some decluttering on our balcony outside. I mean, it's not exactly clutter, but I would so much like to have pretty plants in there, to have a nice table instead of this old one to make this a nice peaceful place, but I haven't even started. So there you go. I tell you what, I have to buy some kind of stand for my phone because I'm holding it and it's not very nice. And I don't think I'm very steady. I've just put it on the music stand right now. So hopefully this is a little bit better. But here's what's been going on in my head really over the last 3 weeks. So first, it's incredibly encouraging to see the progress. And the funny thing is, I've noticed that the more I declutter, the easier it is to get the house tidy in the evening. And also, the more my family seems to contribute. So without me asking them, my daughter decluttered her clothes, which really was completely spontaneous. I noticed that my husband tidies things up a bit more. My son, who's 12, he hasn't really spontaneously decluttered, but definitely he moans a lot less when I ask him to put things away, because I think he notices that it's tidy and he likes that. Now, for me, it's more peaceful and it's really nice. It's also difficult at times because I have to make these decisions to keep, to give away, to file, to chuck, to throw away. And that is something that I find quite difficult. I do think that even though I think I might have some kind of hoarding mentality, even though, of course, I don't have a hoarding problem. I mean, my house is not absolutely drowning in stuff. Like some of these horror stories, I see some poor people really, really overwhelmed by their hoards. Now, I don't have a hoard, but I think I have a hoarder mentality. So I'm always thinking I might need this. It might be useful. And throwing things away actually makes me feel quite insecure because I'm always worried about, well, what if I need it? What if I regret it? What if I have to buy another one and then it costs money? I think it goes back to so many things from my childhood. We didn't have a lot of money at home at all, especially after my parents split up. It was a very, very difficult time, very, very insecure for me. You know, it was to the point where my dad was worried about having enough money to buy food. It wasn't just that I couldn't get the latest video game. It was like really, really quite severe financial insecurity. And I think as a result of that, I don't want to give myself excuses, but I think I tend to keep things because I think, well, I don't want to need this thing in the future and then have to go and buy it again and then spend money that I could have saved if I've kept the thing. So I'm always battling in my head thinking, do I really give this away? Do I really throw this away? That's quite a hard decision for me to make. There's also a lot of emotions linked to things. Again, I know that it goes back to my childhood, as I had a very traumatic childhood, and I lacked a lot of love, and I got attached to things. It's kind of like, oh, well, they were not going to leave me and stuff like that. And there's probably, there's quite a lot deeper stuff going on. But in a nutshell, that's kind of it. And I think this makes it difficult for me to chuck things. But I am getting there. So generally, I am really pleased with my progress. One thing I have noticed is this has happened to me before because I started decluttering and then the place gets more peaceful, there's less stuff, it's nicer, it's easier to tidy up and keep tidy. And then I get a bit complacent, like I think, oh, well, it's okay. And I don't tackle the deeper clutter, if you see what I mean. So once I've got rid of the big visual clutter and there's no surfaces that are really, really massively cluttered, then I tend to think, oh, well, it's okay. And I don't open the cupboards, I don't open the drawers, I don't go inside the cabinets, I don't look after the bookshelves. And then that clutter sort of stays there, but it's like acceptable clutter because you can't see it too much or it doesn't look too bad. And then, unfortunately, the clutter starts growing again. I do feel I'm in that danger zone when I feel a lot better and my pain of the clutter is not so strong. So I feel, oh, well, do I really need to do this? Do I really need to do that? And I feel if I didn't have this YouTube channel and I hadn't publicly announced I'm going to declutter my whole place, I probably would stop. But thankfully, I have you, my viewers, and I'm held accountable to you. So I'm going to continue. I'm just going to show you what I'm going to work with this week, and I'll also make an important announcement. So this week, I'm going to tackle this. This is a homeschooling corner, okay? I've got stuff up there that the kids don't use anymore because they've grown. We just don't need them. We need to bless another family with these things. We've got shelves, so these were separated by child when we used to have the 4 kids that were homeschooling. So now we've only got 3. So there's my daughter Clara's shelf, but she's gone to England, so she doesn't homeschool anymore. Then the second shelf is my daughter Anna's shelf. She still does homeschool, so she still needs stuff. Then there's Benjamin. And then the lower shelf I've taken for me. This is admin stuff of mine. So I've got to declutter that and tidy things up and throw a ton of papers away. And then this shelf is all basically the homeschooling resources, the books, the folders of past work, magazines, stuff that the kids have made that I've just chucked there. And I've just been ignoring this for far too long. And I'll tell you one thing, my plan for this room would actually be to get rid of at least one of these shelves, maybe even both. At one point we had a nice empty space here, and I think I could have a peaceful corner here. My vision for the room would be to have a nice little plant and maybe even something with water or something like that, a candle, a nice visually calming corner. So I'm thinking my plan as I declutter more and more is to get rid of things. As I declutter the top floor as well, is to be able to put the things that remain here, to be able to put them in the top floor and get rid of this. What I would also like to do eventually, that's my plan for this room, would be to transform this shelf and this shelf, which is full of toys, into something that would basically separate this room in 2, but be visually really calm and pleasing as well. But anyway, that's a plan for later on. But when I'm working on my living room, this is the vision that I've got, that really eventually I would like to get rid of all this stuff, and the stuff we need to keep can just go upstairs because I'll have decluttered upstairs as well. So that's what I'm going to be working on this week, and I must say I'm both excited and a little nervous and thinking, will I be able to do something with this? But we'll see, right? Now, one thing that I wanted to announce that has me excited is I've unlocked the ability to go live on this channel. So I've been thinking I would love to have a declutter with me session every single week where I can go live. I have to buy a stand for my phone, definitely, so I can keep it somewhere. But for instance, I could put it here and I could work on here and have a chat with you. And if you're watching, you can simply declutter with me. So obviously, it's not a conversation, but I can watch the comments occasionally, let you know how I'm doing, and we can basically declutter together. That way, you're helping me and I'm helping you, right? We're just helping each other. I really hope we can do that. So I'm going to try and do this week, and I'm thinking of doing this on Thursday. I will announce this on the channel in the community post, but I wanted to give you a little teaser. And I will definitely pick a day in the week, a day and a time when I just do it regularly. That way it's a good habit for me. It's a good habit for you as well. So watch this space. If you enjoy my videos, if you have a decluttering project as well, if you need to be held accountable, then join me in this. Do this with me. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. Let me know in the comments what you're working on. And I'll see you next week for another update. Bye for now. Thank you so much for your support.